Section 1 of Octavius by Minucius Felix, translated by John Henry Freese. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit Librivox.org. Marcus, read by Kevin S.
Octavius, a Christian lawyer, read by Cadastra.
Caecilius, a pagan friend of Octavius, read by Adam Bielka.
The Octavius by Minucius Felix. Chapter 1. When I look back and examine my recollections of Octavius, the dear and intimate friend of my youth, the charm of his character and personal affection are so firmly rooted in my mind that I seem, as it were, to be actually living again in the past, not merely recalling to mind what is finished and done with. The further he is removed from my earthly gaze, the more deeply is his image imprinted on my heart, nay, on my inmost feelings, and not without reason has the loss of so excellent a Christian left behind such infinite regret. For his affection for me was so passionate that, whether we were jesting or discussing serious matters, our wills were always in perfect harmony, our likes and dislikes identical. You would have thought we had only one soul between us. He was the sole confidant of my youthful follies, the sole partner of my errors. And when the gloom was dispersed and I emerged from the depths of mental darkness into the light of truth and wisdom, he did not reject my companionship, but, what was even more noble, took the lead. And so, when my thoughts return to all the days passed together in closest intimacy, my mind dwells with special interest upon that discourse of his, in which, by the force of his arguments, Caecilius, who still clung to superstitious vanities, was converted to the true faith. Chapter 2. Octavius had come to Rome on business, and also to see me. He had left home, wife, and children, the latter still in the age of innocence, when their broken utterances are so charming, the childish prattle to which the halting accents of their faltering tongue lend additional sweetness. Words cannot express how eagerly and with what transports of joy I welcomed his arrival, a joy increased by the suddenness of this visit of my bosom friend. After 2 days' uninterrupted enjoyment of his company, when the eager longings of our hearts were satisfied, and we had told each other of matters of mutual interest, unknown to us in consequence of our separation, we decided to pay a visit to Ostia. This is a delightful town, where I hope to find in sea bathing an agreeable and beneficial treatment for certain humours from which I suffered. Owing to the vacation, legal work was slack, and had made way for the vintage. And just then, after the heat of summer, the weather had turned cooler with the coming of autumn. One morning at dawn we happened to be walking along the bank of the Tiber towards the sea. The gentle breeze invigorated our limbs, and the walk over the sand, as it yielded beneath our soft tread, was especially delightful. Caecilius noticed an image of Seriphus, and after the custom of the superstitious vulgar, put his hand to his mouth and kissed it. Chapter 3. Thereupon Octavius said,
Brother Marcus, it is unworthy of an honest man to leave one who in and out of the house is your constant companion in such a blind and vulgar ignorance. On a fine day like this, how can you allow him to do homage to stones, even though they are fashioned in the likeness of the gods, anointed with oil and crowned with garlands? You must be aware that the shame of his error will recoil as much upon you as upon him.
While Octavius was speaking, we were halfway between Ostia and the sea, and were already nearing the open beach, where the gentle waves, which lave the furthest stretch of sands, extended, and, as it were, laid it out for a promenade. The sea is always restless, even when the winds are still, and although it did not reach the shore in white, foaming waves, we were highly delighted to see it curling and winding round and about our feet when we dipped them at the water's edge. Alternately it dashed against our feet and sported with the waves, and then, as it retired and retraced its course, sucked them back into itself. In this manner we walked on slowly and quietly along the shore of the gentle winding beach, beguiling the way with conversation.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?